Okay. All right. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing a little better than all right, but not a whole lot better than all right.
Well, before we get into that,
Millcast 45.
You are watching the Millcast. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Peggy.
And we promised an episode. We did not think it was going to happen. It was maybe going to be on Zoom. Peg's supposed to be on vacation in Maine right now.
Yeah.
It's a Sunday.
It's a Sunday, and Amanda and I both have COVID.
Yeah, so this is the first human being I've gotten the chance to sit beside with a mask on for the last 5 or so days as I've been quarantined in my own home.
Yeah, and of course, then Todd got it, and then I gave it to you. Yeah, so anyway, we're dealing with COVID. We're here on a Sunday so that no employees have to deal.
And we thought it would be much more festive than Zoom to do it in person. And actually, it's really nice to be in here. I'm of zero use to my family right now. Cody, on top of caring for Maeve throughout our Italy trip, is now caring for her again.
Yeah.
So, we're at the mill.
As they say, the fuzzy end of the lollipop.
Totally. But so far, I should say, Cody and Maeve are testing negative. I think tomorrow, if they test negative, they'll be in the clear because I'll be over my 5-day quarantine. I'm still gonna mask at home for a little while, and at work obviously. But I really am surprised that they didn't get it. I was sure that they would.
Yeah.
So who knows? We're all vaccinated over here, so I had a pretty mild case. I just had coughs and congestion.
No, that first day for me, I was not okay.
And who even knows where we got it? I'm sure on the way back from Italy, but
I guess so. Although you're probably. But then I had my kids with me for the weekend. They didn't get it. So then I thought about it. I literally didn't see anybody besides them, and then I came into the mill. So I think I must have gotten it traveling.
Yeah.
But it didn't become infectious or active.
Yeah.
For almost 70 hours.
Yeah. Well,
anyway,
thankfully our staff is all doing all right.
Yeah.
We've been, when I was in the mill, I didn't get it till about Thursday, and we were all masking. So, hopefully it ends here.
Yeah.
And I have to say, on, the Pollyanna sort of aspect of my personality, I'm very excited to be having had it out of the way heading into sheep and wool season, because right now, even though we probably got this traveling, we know it's blazing through New England and the States in general right now. And thankfully it's tending to be pretty mild, but we've got a lot on our calendar the next couple of weeks.
Yes, we do.
So we got it out of the way.
But I should say we've got a slightly different background because the Carter has been dominating what time you've been able to spend in the mill. You want to explain why we've got the frame off the Carter and what's going on?
Typically, as we've shown in the past, we have this cage set up around the Carter because this is the machine that will take your arm off on accident if it wasn't protected by a cage. So when we were in Italy visiting Ramella, we got to look at some of their Carters and a chance to talk about our Carter, which was, I guess, the second or third one they ever made.
Yep.
And they gave us some pointers on how to make it run a little bit better.
Right.
So we had a few things that we wanted to take care of on it, just in terms of housekeeping. I'll start with those.
Yeah.
So while the cage was off, we have this, I'm going to forget what all
roller?
These things are called. It's a roller. I think it's, it puts tension on a belt as it goes around. But what happens in a fiber mill is fiber is everywhere. So fiber builds up on these things and basically cause this roller not to be able to spin. And we didn't realize it for some time.
Right.
And so I don't know if you can see this in the shot, but basically the roller stopped turning because the wool had built up in there.
So the belt started to carve and cut. You can see it right there, cut literally into the roller.
Yeah, so it's not good for the belt, not good for the roller, obviously. It has a big divot. So we replaced that with a brand new one.
Yeah.
Hopefully that serves us well for another 13 years. The other is, related to that one, there was another roller, this one, that used to have a rubber coating on it.
A thin rubber coating.
Yep. And they've since updated how they're building the machine so that instead of a metal roller with a rubber coating, it's a solid like rubber roller, very similar to our pin drafter
Right.
roller material.
Well, it's a metal roller with a separate rubber around it.
Like this whole piece that you see is like rubber.
Almost like a 1/4 inch thick. So
So
that'll
this
be good.
got replaced. We had some trouble. This bolt was like completely just didn't want to budge, and I'll have to check in with them when we're all back next week. But Leah, our employee's brother, ended up stopping by the mill and managing to pry this free after,
That's great.
I tried, Leah tried, Cody tried, everyone tried. But anyways, so we replaced that. That's all good. And then the main thing that we were excited to replace is, I have what was formerly most of, I guess it's a clutch. All of these little pieces made up this clutch roller that was sort of on the intake end of the carter. And what it was supposed to do is, like, when too much fiber starts going through, it was supposed to slip and not allow it through. I'm a little fuzzy on what the original intention was. But in effect, what it was doing to our process was whenever anything slightly difficult tried to go through the carter, I'm talking anything you couldn't pull apart very easily with your fingers.
Right.
According to Emmanuel from Ramella, this roller would not go, which would then cause some after effects of it
Going backwards
and then
somehow.
sending in a ton of fiber all at
Right.
once, and then
And causing a jam.
ka-clonk.
Right. And we've shared with you the joy of climbing under the carter with the tweezers.
If we haven't,
it's not fun,
a joy.
and it takes a lot of time, to like 20 minutes at least, to go through and pick out the jam.
It doesn't feel good for the carter either, because
No, it's not good for the carter. But to be told, an easy adjustment, and it will never jam.
This never happens on any of our carters that don't have this. We were like, you have got to be kidding me.
Right.
So we come home so excited
all primed,
and we're still in the midst of that process. But what we need to do is, instead of all of those gears there, and there's a metal black piece that's covering the shaft as well that we are struggling to remove.
Yeah, that's got to come off.
Well, once it comes off, we're just going to put on this regular old, now I'm forgetting, sprocket.
Sprocket with gears.
Yep, sprocket with gears, and this is just going to keep turning. It's not going to try to do anything fancy, and they said we will never have another jam again. So we had this part. I think Michael Hampton, our fiber mill mentor, brought this one back from us when he went to Italy for his new spinner. But it didn't come complete with all the parts we needed. As you can imagine, like, there looks like there should be some things that go in these screw holes, and how the heck do you attach this? I mean, let us just back up and say, we maybe sound like we know what we're doing right now. Peg and I are not mechanics, but we've got
Don't play one on TV.
Dang far at the mill.
No, this is impressive that you found this part.
Well, so I had talked to Italy. I said, what do we need? This doesn't obviously go there. And so they said, you need a taper brushing, which I'd never heard of before, but now I see them everywhere on the carter. So what it is this ingenious thing. And it's funny because this actually came up later that day when I went into the carter to try to get this guy off and installed, because there's several gears. You can imagine there's gears that go onto here. But like, if it goes here, you need something to, set it there. That's where the taper brushing comes in, to fill up that negative space.
Very cool.
So how it works is it's got these 2 set screws.
There's going to be a quiz at the end, so please.
I'm just so excited about this stuff. I gotta share it. Okay, these 2 little set screws, and you've got, I guess, the taper brushing here, and you can see it's got 3 spots that set screws may go. 1, 2, 3. So the 2 that are directly across from here, those are the ones that are screwed in to secure it in place. So I see the set screws, and I'm removing them from this other piece, and I say, okay, now how do I get it off? And I'm yanking, and I can't figure it out. And I say, this looks like the thing I just ordered, the taper brushing. So it turns out what you do is you actually put the set screw into the 3rd hole that was empty, and as you twist, you can see it goes all the way through. Eventually, it starts putting pressure on whatever's behind it. So it pushes itself out by the force of turning the screw.
Okay.
So I learned how to remove them before I needed to actually install them. So I feel very comfortable with this concept now. If only we could get off The black metal piece.
We have a black metal piece that
is preventing it from going on.
Yeah, when you sent me an email saying the next thing is to try whacking it with a mallet, I was like, oh my god. So
and then Peg comes in this morning. I'm like, oh yeah, I've been down the mallet road. I'm considering a blowtorch.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it actually
we will get
comes
this figured out, and by the next Millcast, you'll hear how fabulous it is.
But
you've been up to your eyeballs.
Was that I managed to, instead of ordering this from Italy, having to wire them money, having to wait a week or two for it to arrive, there's an awesome company that we've used for several things.
Yeah, we have,
now.
and they are very cool.
Yeah, McMaster Car. They will ship you things next day
Right.
for like pretty cheap. So this, this part came, paid $10 for shipping, and it was here within 24 hours. So
Right.
I thought we were going to be done in celebrating the Carter's makeover.
Repair? Yeah.
But not quite yet.
All right, it'll happen though.
It'll happen, and it'll be better than ever, and
Yes.
that'll be great.
Yes. It's good. We should do a little bit of quick wrap up on Italy.
Yes.
Thanks for all the great comments and that you enjoyed seeing our little trip.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to show you guys these.
Oh, yeah. This is so clever.
Yeah, these are some chocolates we brought back from Biella for the staff that were in that little cheese shop we mentioned. But check this out.
Yeah.
Woolen chocolate.
Woolen chocolate. Why? But okay.
Yeah, so we got the
Yeah, and I did have one of those.
chocolates.
They're very delicious.
Yeah,
They're very delicious. I do want to show a picture because I don't think it was in the Millcast last week of you standing next to the. You got to see this picture of Amanda standing next to our spinner.
Yes.
That's our spinner. It is going to get here soon.
Yes.
I'd say a couple months.
Yeah, we've got some back and forth to finish up with Ramella.
And
then it'll get on a ship.
And then it'll get on a ship and it'll be here.
Yeah.
And then I have one other picture of you at the Duomo. Because I don't think you had me clutching the heights. But there's a great one of you with the towers or the spires behind you. So
yeah,
that
sorry
was
we
good.
missed talking about our spinner. The whole reason we went there, we got too sidetracked on telling the story of Ramella and everything that they're doing, which is so cool.
Great guys, though. Really very impressive.
Yep. Yeah.
So I have to say, and I think you knew this. So as I was flying back from Italy, that was on a Friday, Todd was getting on a plane from Manchester to Chicago. So he and I literally passed in the night.
Yeah.
Because he was headed to Chicago to pick up a van and drive to Wisconsin for us to pick up a new Ram. And
very exciting.
We actually were picking up 2 Rams. If you know the Hildene Estate in Manchester, Vermont.
What do they do there?
Oh, Manchester Estate is the estate that President Lincoln's son Todd set up.
Okay.
It's gorgeous. It's great to visit it. This is fabulous mansion. They have incredible cut gardens, but it's up on a bluff, and down on the bottom is their farm.
Yeah.
And they've got alpaca and pigs and
I know they took some of your sheep.
And their
back in
flock
the
of
day.
sheep are originally from Savage Heart Farm.
Wow.
But like us, they needed a new ram.
Yeah, so talk about why do you go to Wisconsin to get a ram? Like why did you need a new ram? You
can only use a ram for so many generations because you don't want dad breeding with his granddaughter. There's only so much inbreeding you can do before you need to stop because you start getting smaller animals, and there can also be other negative consequences. Yeah. And the reality is that there are other Corriedales in the New England area, but none of them. We've been working very hard in these, basically 10 years to try and get finer and finer fiber.
Yep.
And that's really all about breeding. And there is a line of genes in Wisconsin that just has really rocked it in terms of getting super soft, fine fiber. So this is probably the last time we'll be able to go to Observatory Hill in Wisconsin. But we went there, got 2 Rams, one for Hildene and one for us.
Yeah.
But Todd then rented a I think it's called Pretsky van. I don't think he told them why he was renting it.
Oh, he put the sheep in the van.
In the van. But so he goes to Wisconsin.
I thought he was getting like a truck.
No. He got a van. And he picked up a good friend of ours, Pete Mitchell, in Evanston. They drove up to Wisconsin. They had lined it with tarp, and then they had hay in there. But then they drove through the night.
Yeah.
And
as a Wisconsinite who has done that drive many times home for the holidays, I can totally relate to what they went through.
But with 2 sheep in the back. And actually, the lambs were terrific. They were about 5 months old. and they got to Hildene early on Monday morning, and then got to our place midday Monday.
Yep.
And so, as is our tradition, this is the second time we've gone to Wisconsin, and our first ram is named Hanson after Bart Hanson, who helped Todd drive it east. Well, of course, Pete is our very dear friend Pete Mitchell, whose nickname is Maverick, and therefore this new ram, who's so cute. His name is Maverick, and that's a very adorable face. But what you'll notice is he'd been jacketed right up until the time he was put in the van. So up by his neck, it looks like we always see it, sort of, a little bit sun bleached.
Yep.
But the whole back of him, that's gray. That is the gene that we're working
right,
for.
That's not old age gray.
No.
Silver
the silver and just a fabulous fleece that we're excited to have.
Did you wear this sweater because?
Well, no, I wore this because it's. I forgot I had it on because it's sweater season already.
But that could be your silvers, right?
No, but you know what? This is one of the very early 3-plies that we did from Katie Sullivan's Foremost.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's probably why.
I just it's sweater season. Yay. Anyway,
so that is about the color that the silver. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So anyway, that's the big news going on in our world. Is
that's
a new ram.
Exciting.
Yeah.
So how many more years till you'll have to get another one?
About 3.
Okay, every 3 years or so.
Yeah.
I know our lambs that were lambed at our little quote unquote farm were. That was the first year you had Isaac. So we brought over our girls who were born on Savage Heart Farm.
Right.
Bred them there and
Right. Actually, so Isaac is still with us. So we now have Isaac and Maverick.
Yep.
Hanson, who's a fabulous ram, but we can't use him anymore. He's actually at Hildene.
There you go.
So everybody's happy.
Yeah, that's great.
It is good. It is really good. Yeah. So we're getting some media.
Yeah,
It's sort of fun.
Really exciting. We got featured in the latest Taproot magazine.
Really fun.
In one of their patterns, so I will just show it because I don't think.
And if you're not familiar with Taproot, you'll see it sometimes in the grocery stores, especially in your co-op kind of grocery store.
Yeah.
No commercials.
This is the
no ads, rather.
Hayfields Cowl by Mary O'Shea, and it features our making tracks.
Yeah, it's featuring our comb top. You want to open up? Yeah. So this is what it was in.
Yeah.
Which is great. We don't have a whole lot of this left.
Honeycomb, you mean?
Honeycomb.
Yeah.
Sorry. What did I say?
Comb top. I was like, where's she going with this?
Yeah, no kidding. Can you tell I'm not 100%? No, this is the honeycomb with the Savage Heart Farm.
Actually, they
didn't use the Savage Heart Farm.
Yeah, but we think that would look lovely along with this.
So this would be, but like I said, we don't have a lot of the comb top, but just as gorgeous honeycomb is the leaves in the brook. Which actually I think would showcase.
Even nicer.
Yeah, I really think so.
So honeycomb is unfortunately on its way out of our line.
Right, it's getting retired.
It's getting retired. A lot of folks love this. We have probably 5 skeins left. So if you want it, there may still be a few available. But we decided to move toward the leaves in the brook just because it has a little bit more variegation.
Right,
and so
it's kind of fun.
Gradient.
Yeah.
But this is a lovely one, and we are just honored to be featured in Taproot.
Love being in
Taproot.
Love it.
Peg gets this delivered, and she opens it up, and sure enough, making tracks.
It's just kind of fun.
Yeah, so that's really fun. And don't assume that we know everywhere our yarn is being used. If you see it someplace,
let us know. Absolutely.
Because it's actually my mother-in-law, Natalie, who we've talked about before, texted me while we were in Italy to say, look, you're in Taproot, because she subscribes as well. And I was like, Natalie, thank you for letting me know. That just made my day.
Like knowing you have our back, Natalie.
Yes.
It's good. It's good. We are cranking making tracks in the mill, which will remind you why in just a moment. But right now, I just want to show you. I didn't want to show them all hanged up. Just look at this. Woo! Lots of cool colors. We have warm colors as well, but just a tiny sample of what all we are working on.
You've got some forest floor, lookout ledge, the deep end,
Aurora Borealis, constellation.
Wow. Yeah, and we could not have done it without our awesome team here.
We have a great team.
Keeping the mill running while we've not only been across the world, but also been in bed.
Yeah, we're dealing with COVID. But yeah, we are really cranking on the making tracks, as we will all this week, because Vermont Sheep and Wool Festival
It's already next weekend.
It's this coming weekend.
Yeah, by the time you hear this on Tuesday, it'll be like 4 days away. Oh
4 days
goodness.
away, and I can't wait. You can tell the colors are starting to wanna pop. I
need
think
a
the colors
cider
are
donut.
late.
I need a cider donut.
Cider donut, but I can't wait to go into Tunbridge and see fall colors because they're not there yet. But I got to think by Saturday. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was just at the Tunbridge World's Fair the
you
other
did
week.
go
I
to
did
that?
go. And it was full on summer mode still. So it's going to be such a difference just 3 weeks later.
A little
2, 3
cooler,
weeks.
the colors. And honestly, we go to a lot of festivals now. The Vermont Sheep and Wool Festival.
It's our hometown.
It's our hometown, and it's just the right size. There's about 70 vendors. It's very manageable. It's kind of nice and cozy. And there's always some great music. They've got the food
sheep
trucks.
I get
the
so
sheep
excited.
demos, but also some great food trucks. And fiber people that we just love seeing at the Vermont Sheep and Wool
I
Festival.
feel like it has this vibe of like a back to school homecoming thing of like
interesting.
everyone just like goes around and all the vendors are happy to see each other. We haven't seen each other since like the spring.
That is true. This is the kickoff one for us.
Yeah,
There's
so-
been others the last couple of weeks, but for us, this is our first. And I think for a lot of the vendors that'll be at Vermont, this will be their first also for the season.
Yeah.
So,
but what my excitement got in the way of me blurting out was the sheep dog trials.
Right.
That is worth seeing, and they've got the shearing demonstrations as well. It's just fun. And a lot of my friends, because it is our local festival, I've obviously promoted it, and many of my young friends don't yet know the joy of knitting, but they'll go with their families just because it's a fun, weekend.
well, and the one of the barns has a lot of examples, a lot of live sheep, so and goats, and so there's always the woman there that has an Angora bunny in her lap, and she's spinning right off the back of the animal. It's hilarious.
Incredible.
So it's a potential fun time for the entire family.
Yes, it'll be so fun.
Yeah. So make plans to come on up on Saturday and Sunday to the Vermont Sheep and Wool, and absolutely stop by and say hello to us.
Yes.
All right. Got anything else we got to cover?
I think we've covered it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, there'll be a quiz on what we did to the Carter.
I didn't even
coming
get
up.
to talking about
The hammer
these
cracks me
things
up.
are even doing. Yeah. I think it's a mallet. I don't know.
It looks like a mallet.
Anyway,
all good. We be well. We're going to get well, and hopefully we'll see you at the Vermont Sheep and Wool Festival.
bye.
Bye.